On 4th of May 2018, an actor who created a niche for himself in the industry by this time starred in a movie titled Omerta, directed by Hansal Mehta. A movie that was presented to Mehta as an idea in the mid-2000s by veteran actor Mukul Dev as a story that needed to be told. Omerta vanished from theatres with a blink of an eye, being engulfed by the business of Avengers Infinity War that released just a week prior and Razi a week later that did exceptionally well in the box office. The movie, based on the journey of Ahmad Omar Saeed Sheikh and the extremist atrocities committed by him on a global scale, was deemed a colossal financial failure. Made on a budget of 18 crores, the movie went on to gross close to 4 crores in total revenue. ZEE5 has thought of providing a digital release for the film, as the movie certainly did not get its due credit in its theatrical run. The film specifically focuses on major events that affected India and the world in modern history, due to the growing influence and activities of extremist groups, specifically from events that commence from the 1994 kidnappings of tourists from New Delhi, the hijacking of the Indian Airlines flight from Kathmandu, and other global events and atrocities that followed, including the abduction of a journalist, Daniel Pearl. All linked to the LSE dropout that thought the only way of vengeance was to bear arms and retaliate with force. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether the movie is worth it or not. The underwhelming aspects. Oscillating British accent. The major criticism I have with the film is the oscillating British accent executed by Rajkummar Rao. It breaks my heart to say this, but other than this one aspect that I will speak in length and detail about, I cannot fault a single thing other than that regarding Rajkumar's performance. Omar was a British national who only visited Pakistan with his family for 2 years. This would of course lead to the protagonist having a natural British accent. The sad truth is that the accent execution by Rao is amateurish at best. His attempt seems to be a crash course rather than a refined twang. Letters would be conveniently left out of words as an attempt to execute the accent well. The actor stating sentences like "was the plan," "he's my mate," "what'd you say?" A muffled execution to intend authenticity but comes across as jarring, especially as he in frames is talking to actual Britishers and Americans. The command of Rao in Urdu and Hindi is impeccable, and I believe with some of the creative liberties taken in the film, it would have been ideal if the accent was scrapped as a creative choice, as it sticks out like a sore thumb in several sequences. The good. A story that needs to be told. It is extremely tricky to present a story with a protagonist that has committed such vile acts that have had a direct impact on us Indians and still visually represent him in such a way that his acts are not glorified yet keep us engaged throughout its running minutes. Hansal Mehta has brilliantly executed that balance with Omerta. Never while watching the film did I ever root for the madness that takes over Omar. Never did I support his inhumane acts. Never did I feel that there was an attempt to humanize him in order to justify his actions. Yet I feel this was an important movie to be made, as it educates us and brings forth several discussions about the events in modern history. For any cinephile, it's fascinating to know that Omar as a character has made an appearance previously in a Hansal Mehta film. If you remember Shahid, then you would remember the inmate played by Prabal Punjabi was Omar Sheikh. Hansal Mehta states that Shahid was actually the showreel to make Omerta, as it also provides a fascinating point of personal injustice and how two characters in a similar predicament take two completely different paths. One constructive in the form of Shahid and one absolutely destructive in the form of Omar. Ironically, one is no more in this world today, and the other may just be released from jail anytime soon. Conviction and the performance. What I admire the most about the film is that unlike many political films that are produced in this nation, this takes in the origin story and acts committed by a radical and does not shy away from mentioning politicians and government officials involved with archival footage and showcasing ghastly images of modern war that show you the reality at the ground level. In many ways, the creators decided that if they are going to tell this story, they aren't going to leave any stone unturned regarding what actually transpired. It has the ability for any history student to exactly identify the preceding events that will take place, and any inquisitive viewer to research even more beyond the film. The 1994 tourist kidnapping in our own national capital with such ease, a Pakistani national just assimilating and blending, and our intelligence agencies still being reactionary in nature. The infamous Indian Airlines hijacking, provided as only a cliff note in the film, but it makes you introspect on how our government could not intervene in Amritsar. The bravery showcased by Captain Devi Sharan to prolong the flight as much as possible, but to no avail. I would highly recommend you check out the Nat Geo special on flight IC814, Our after the film. The film is fascinating, especially because it focuses on events that did not even happen too long ago. Rajkummar Rao, despite the initial dialogue delivery bumps, slowly but surely fully immerses himself to become a man, transformed, with no possible return or reform. The intensity in his eyes, the intimidating body language, the unquestionable conviction in the vision, Rajkumar becomes Omar, and there is a reason why he is one of the finest talents we have in the country today. He is passionate about the craft and nothing more. Several thoughts. Beyond Hansal Mehta's storytelling and Rajkummar Rao's slow deterioration into radicalization, there were several thoughts that came into my mind as I saw the film. It makes you think about modern war, first world countries engaged to take down tyrannies, but leave behind countries with civic unrest and ruins. About the products that come out of such acts of violence, inevitable radicalization in huge sections of populations that bear arms. At a personal level, it makes you ponder over how we can live carefree as such gross human rights violations take place all over the world. From a character standpoint, it makes you think about how an educated and privileged man can think this is the only justifiable retaliation. In retrospect, it makes you think about the several instances where government organizations could have intervened, and maybe, just maybe, the domino effect of the global atrocities may have never happened. The film aims to explore evil as a human characteristic that develops from a point of personal injustice. Any individual in real life that has been etched in history has had a point of personal injustice. What path you lead from that point can make you either popular or notorious. Omerta, specifically regarding this point of personal injustice, is a very important film to be seen, especially for Indians, to be educated and informed of the modern reality. A critic by the name of Deborah Young from Hollywood Reporter stated that this is a gripping study of evil that reveals nothing. Omar, in one of the scenes as he talks to an American journalist, states, "Terrorists believe you guys are predators, threatening to take an entire religion into extinction. They believe they are protecting themselves, and you guys believe you're protecting mankind. But the truth is, nobody is protecting anybody. Innocent people are being killed. Nobody lives, but the conflict lives on." That review that I just mentioned couldn't be further from the truth. You can and should watch Omerta on ZEE5. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.